Hi, Sarupa here from the soulagentblog.com, and it's the Solstice 2017, and what a year it's been. It's been the year that the new era energy has been birthing. There's a lot of global turmoil going on. There's a lot of uncertainty. But in all of that uncertainty, one of the things is the universe remains constant. It remains a certain place, a place of certainty where how it operates has continued to be the same for ever since it was created, and it's going to carry on that way. And the thing that I want to talk to you about today is manifestation. Now, I've got a workshop that's coming up in a few weeks in London. So if you're not in London, don't worry. I will be bringing it around to other areas in the world later on this year. But it's still important that you watch this video, because I want to share with you a ritual that is going to change how you manifest. In fact, it's one of the most powerful rituals that I use. And what's been really interesting with it, I've been using it without knowing that I was actually doing it. It was just something that was innately that I was doing from when I was very, very young. It's been a process that I've been using, and I want to share it with you today. So I want to make sure that you've got your journal or something to write with, but I also want you to trust, if you haven't, and you know, you can press pause and come back, or if you want to just carry on watching this, you will remember what you need to remember. And of course you can revisit this manifesting ritual. So I want you to think, bring into your thoughts something that you're working on manifesting. Now, you may decide to think of something completely new and novel in this moment, or it may be that you've actually got something that you are launching, say in your business, or something that you want to achieve in your career that's been around for this year or maybe a few years, because most people have got things that really every year you go, right, this is the year I'm going to succeed doing this, succeed in this way, or achieve this, or accomplish. So think of that thing, and it's just one thing, and I know there'll be lots more, but it's got to just be one thing to keep the energy focused and anchored and grounded, and not just all dispersed. So this one thing, so bring it to your attention, bring it to your awareness. And if you're like me, you'll be thinking of lots of other things that you want to do, and you can come back to focus on that using this ritual at another point. So having got your one thing, and then want you to just close your eyes, okay, but follow my instruction. And allow what you're thinking just to kind of expand what you would really like. What is it? Is it going to be filling a workshop? Is it going to be filling a retreat? Is it about a coaching program that you're launching, or another online program? Or is it some travel that you want to do? Is it something around buying a new car, moving home, getting a new job? You know, don't judge whatever it is, accept it. And I want you to just start to imagine it, start to allow your connection to it to expand. And then as you breathe in and breathe out, in the next breath in and out, as you breathe out, I want you to drop that idea. Imagine it dropping from wherever it is around your head area, straight down to your belly, to your sacral and solar plexus area, the belly area. So just drop it down. So it's in that stomach area, okay? So we're going to the gut, which might be surprising a lot of you, because I talk so much about being heart-centered, but there's a specific reason why. Now, while it's just by imagining that it's dropped into your gut, the energy of what you are focusing on manifesting is there. And I want you to now imagine that it's happened. I want you to, what does it feel like to know that you've achieved this? Just feel it and choose the one feeling that's dominant. Does it feel exciting? Does it feel like you've achieved something, so you just feel so joyous? Does it just feel satisfying? Does it feel exhilarating? So just really feel it. There'll be many, many feelings, but just choose the one dominant one, and then you'll remember that. And now I want you to imagine that it hasn't manifested. It's not manifesting, or it doesn't manifest in the way that you wanted, and it's what I would call adverse manifestation. It just doesn't occur, doesn't unfold. How does that feel? How does that really feel? And it might not feel good. You might think, here I am again. So it's that sense of failure or fear, because if you're doing something in your business and you're not calling the money and you're going to feel fearful about your finances. Do you feel annoyed with yourself, irritated, angry, whatever it is? Remember, you're just playing in the imagination, so you're not really stepping into those feelings. I just want you to feel that and know that what the dominant one is. So remember that, and if you need to, you can write them both down. So the feeling that you got when you were imagining what you were manifesting being achieved, accomplished and happening, and the one that you got when it wasn't, when you were imagining it not happening. Okay, which was the dominant one? And like I say, there could be a mix of other side ones, but there'll be a feeling, and take the first ones that came in both scenarios as the dominant one. So you either remember those or you write those down. And then I'll tell you what we're going to do in a second, but I now want you to just go back to your belly area, so you can close your eyes again if you've opened them, and allow yourself to connect to how much do you think what you want to manifest is possible. You could give it a scale of 0 being completely impossible, 10 to it's happening. So don't choose a number that you think it should be. Choose the number that you're thinking actually bears a resemblance to the truth of what you're really thinking. Is it really going to be possible? So you might be anywhere between this scale of 0 to 10. You may have a descriptive word, it doesn't matter, but it's more that it's a word that means something to you, or a number along this scale that means something to you. And then you're going to remember that, or you're going to write that down. Okay, so that's the first part of this manifestation ritual. So now I'm going to give you the second part, which is going to be a little bit about your assignment and homework, really. So with the feeling that you got, the dominant feeling that you got when you had achieved it, that is the feeling for you to bring into your life as often as possible, as on a daily basis, on everything that you do. Can you bring that in? So if you felt joy, or if you felt delight, or if you felt exhilaration, what can you do to bring that feeling in everything that you do, in every interaction, so you're stepping into that energy? Okay. And with the feeling that you have as dominant for when your manifestation didn't occur, you didn't achieve it, it didn't happen, or it didn't happen the way you wanted, and it all kind of went inside out and topsy-turvy and adverse, as I call it, I want you to journal about what would happen if that feeling was no longer true. So if you felt like a failure, or you felt disappointed, what happens if you couldn't feel failure or disappointment anymore? What becomes possible? So you're stepping into possibility. What becomes possible? So if I'm thinking about something and I'm going into my belly and I'm feeling, well, I'll just feel like I've lost again, I've failed, I've screwed up again. And if my dominant feeling is this sense of loss around an idea that I wanted to manifest that doesn't happen, and that's what I'm feeling, I would write about, well, what happens if I couldn't feel loss? What happens if it was impossible for me to feel lost? What would then become possible for me? What would occur? And you step into that limitless possibility. So it's like playing a game while you're journaling and getting into that dream space and scoping out possibility. And then you come to the bit where you were assessing, grading or describing how possible you really think this is going to be. Is it really going to happen, or is it just one of those things that you're going to say you're doing and it's never really going to happen? How strong was that possibility of happening, or how low is that possibility? It doesn't matter where you are on the scale, but I want you to think about this after this video and think of a daily action that you can take that will increase what you think is possible. So if your daily action could be, for example, visualizing, it could be affirming, it could be something completely unrelated to those two things. It could be something, and it'll be, if you sit and ponder, it will come to you and you take that daily action. So one of the daily actions that once I had to take in response to this ritual was to smile at myself in the mirror. And it felt a bit crazy. It seemed a bit like, really? Is that going to change anything? And it did. It helped me to stay within my energy, and it was the action that had actually come from my soul. And when we take soul aligned action, which isn't actually the gut action, everything changes. But the reason we went into the gut is because for most of the world's population, we are operating an emotional and mental plane, and that means that that emotional and mental energy is actually driving us forward and drowning the voice of our soul. So we need to start listening to what it needs, listening to what it's saying, and then support it to feel stronger in order for it to cooperate with the soul, and we get the solutions from the soul. So that's my manifestation ritual. So it's for the solstice, because the solstice is a great time for growth. It doesn't matter what hemisphere you're on, it's all about growth. It's the marking of a very significant point of the year, and this year it's really exciting because it does, for me, from my understanding, mark a really massive turning point in how it's been. So a lot of the stuff that you may have been going through in the last sort of 6 months, and the promise of the new era being really, really exciting, I certainly thought this was it. I've arrived, everything I've done will now just come to fruition. And there was still, there's been still some stuff I've had to personally respond to, deal with and address. And I feel that this is a bit of a line in the sand now, because there's going to be a sense of easier movement if you have been willing to address the things that you needed to address. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the workshop in London. It's happening on July the 20th. The link will be appearing somewhere up or down or around and on the side. We're going to be meeting at the Ritz. It's a favourite location of mine in central London. So you can fly in from anywhere in the world or come from anywhere in the UK. It's a very central location. And I'm going to be sharing with you the art of soulful manifestation. Not because you can't manifest, everybody can manifest, but it's really about how you manifest in the new energy, how you use tools and processes to manifest your soul purpose and keep your energy continuously aligned. Because if things aren't manifesting, there's a reason why. Not because you've necessarily just done the process wrong. There'll be a ritual like this that you may have just skipped. This sort of ritual is what I would call a detoxing ritual. Most people will go and detox a cupboard, which is great for your space and the environment and the energy around you and reflective of what's going on in your inner world. But very few go in this way. So I really want to be taking the people coming on July the 20th on a very deep and powerful and spiritual and soulful adventure to really get to grips with how to manifest. How is your energy that's been shifting and changing over the last few years as we made the shift from new to old to new paradigm, old energy to new energy? What does that really mean for you then in reality when it comes to manifesting? Because there's more energy being beamed to us. We've grown, we've changed. Things that we once believed are no longer true, because we can now start to get more truth from the universe. So I want you to take a look at the link, which is the soulagentblog.com /London Manifestation Workshop. It's July the 20th. Have a read of what we're going to do. It's going to be a really exciting day where there's going to be lots of ritual, lots of opportunity for you to actually work on something real. So it's not going to be about the theory or the academic knowledge that you can read in a book, but it's actually about how you apply it and how you operate and what levels you're operating in with what you're manifesting, which ultimately is your soul purpose. It's your soul plan, because when we manifest soulfully, it's really about following the path that your soul has a contract to lead you on, so that you can fulfill your purpose and really have the best time while you're doing it. That's what it's about. People often say, what's the purpose of life? Well, collectively, it is to have fun. And that's what we're going to do on July the 20th. So check out the link, soulagentblog.com /London Manifestation Workshop. Come back and use this ritual again too. Let me know how you get on. If you've got any questions, if you've had some experiences with the ritual and you've got questions, put them below. I will come back and answer you, of course. And I will look forward to seeing you on the 20th of July.